Guys, what a great Thanksgiving we got this week, huh? In this episode, we all collectively mourned the death of a goat, of a real one, of a Chad, of an OG, Nanami Kento. I knew this was coming, but not even I was prepared for this. When this happened in the manga, it was like getting stabbed in the heart, but the anime twisted and broke the knife inside of me. This episode handled Nanami's moment so beautifully. The way they displayed Nanami's dream of living life in Malaysia, coupled with him fighting each of those transfigured humans, was peak. I was left heartbroken after seeing that scene because it was so melancholic, seeing him fight for one last time. And I don't need to tell you guys that whenever you hear that sad piano music in an anime, that's the Grim Reaper calling. The JJK team really understood the assignment there when it comes to creative choices, because this scene alone was a visual representation of Nanami's character as a whole. Nanami was the most selfless character in the series, even though he left the Jujutsu world for a good reason too. He came back because he believed that he could actually make a change. He knew the costs and he knew the risks, but time and time again he put his life on the line. Like, what makes him so well written is that he probably knew that nothing was going to change, but he still kept on fighting because he is a Jujutsu sorcerer. He's the definition of what a modern day Jujutsu sorcerer is supposed to be. It ain't about how you look or your technique or your swagger as much, but it's about the will to continue pushing forward and refusing to let his comrades feel the burden of this pain. His final moment highlighted the inner conflict he was dealing with, because he was asking himself why he came back to all of this. This is the first time in the series where we saw what dreams Nanami had for himself that he wasn't able to fulfill because of his line of work. Haibara appearing to him and pointing to Yuji was the assurance he needed to finally stop fighting. He didn't want to curse Yuji to the same fate that he had, and fam, his last words to Yuji was just fucking excellent. I have no words to say. The execution was great, no pun intended. It was poetic that Yuji was there to see this, because not only were the two characters similar in many ways, but Nanami was there to protect and to look after the next generation, and he did. RIP to Nanami, rest easy, you stood on business till the end. Now that I've paid my respects to Nanami, let me talk about Mahito. Is one of those characters you just love to hate. He's like the Joker, Palpatine and Captain Marvel all rolled into one. After what he did to Junpei, none of us thought it could get worse until he killed Nanami. This guy is the definition of psychological torment, bro. Every time I see this guy, I just get so mad. The way I hate this character needs to be studied, and he just became public enemy number one for the entire fanbase. I am genuinely more offended at Mahito for what he did to Nanami than what Sukuna did to Shibuya, and I know for a fact the King of Curses is having a field day right now. If Nanami didn't get burned by Jogo, he would have held his own against Mahito, at least for a little bit. Yuji going ham on Mahito while remembering Nanami's words was so fire, and I really like what the JJK team was able to do with this portion of the episode, specifically with the claustrophobic fight that Mahito and Yuji had. That was pretty sick. Yuji was so raw during this episode, and you could really feel the power of his punches that he was throwing at Mahito, but Mahito is just a tricky person to kill. He's basically a Jujutsu cockroach. Their whole fight from the hallway to the elevator pretty much carried this episode for me, and I'm really surprised of how good that looked. I can't even lie to you guys. We then get a brief flashback of Dagon showing us what that mouth do, swallowing all of those people, and Mahito just splits himself into two, and the other clone runs across Nobara. And bro, Nobara needs to chill. She has way too much confidence with the way she was shit talking him. If I was her, I would have been a little bit humbler, if you know what I mean. Gege managed to give most of the characters their big moments, and did you really think Nobara was just gonna fight this guy? Nah. Nobara already did her homework on Mahito, and she even managed to injure him a little bit, but bruh, Mahito then makes a vow to drag her body back to Yuji, and I just can't wait to see how Nobara is gonna body Mahito. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think this episode should have even had the preview for next week, because oh boy, I don't know how much more of this we can take. This episode was really good in my opinion. There were a few frames where you could tell that they weren't finished, but it didn't look bad at all. And we all know that these animators deserve a break, but at this rate, you know, it's looking very unlikely. The JJK team is very talented and we've seen what they can do with a short schedule, but I just wonder how the final stretch of the season is going to look like, because that final episode, the final fight for this arc, is definitely one of, if not the best fight in all of JJK. At least for me, is definitely top 2. So I have no idea how they're going to handle that. You know, as usual, prayers for the JJK team. The latest episodes of this season have been great. How they were able to handle Nanami's send-off was fantastic. Nanami was such a great character, bro. He had so much depth to him. He's one of the best characters in JJK. Like, when we talk about anime senseis, like, for me personally, he's up there with the likes of Jiraiya and Kakashi. It's sad to see him go, but at the end of the day, this is JJK. No one is safe. And if you're a manga reader, you know no one is safe in this show. But right now, we have an equal playing field with the sorcerers and the curses. It's pretty much just Nobara and Yuji left and Mahito left. It's going to be crazy, man. Next week's episode is going to be mad. That's going to blow up the internet again. It's Yuji's time to prove himself to all of the haters, to all of the doubters, to all of them talking smack on his name, saying that he's not the main character. He's about to prove all of you wrong in a few episodes. This is Yuji's time to finally live up to the title of Jujutsu Sorcerer and to make Nanami proud. Thank you to the JJK team for your hard work, and I'd also like to give a big thanks to Kenjiro Suda for your amazing work as Nanami's voice actor. I will surely miss your performance on this show. Thank you for all of the memories, and thanks to everyone who tuned into this video, man. You know, like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and until next week, maybe. Stay blessed, guys.